So you do have another memory map on the table on the chairs there. And what I'd like you to do is to get into twos, and you're going to create, or one out of the two is going to create a speech with the other person helping. I don't know if this is possible. I mean, if whoever you're sitting next to, whoever's the more experienced Toastmaster, maybe have that person as the one not going to get the talk, and who will help the other one create the talk. If you're about equal, just pick on someone. So have an experienced person helping the lesser experienced person in terms of Toastmasters to create this speech. So what could you talk about? Because some of you will now be getting up here and doing a speech. I would say, for the moment, so we get as many people as we can up, just fill in the first 3 locations. Perhaps you're going to do, or you could do, the icebreaker. The icebreaker is the first guest here, the first Toastmaster speech, and it's a speech about yourself. So you could, if you're, I don't know, in location 1, maybe if you're not from this country, you could say where you're from and some aspects of that. Location 2 could be how you came to England. Location 3, what you're doing now, what your education has been, what your location 4, your work, whatever. Or just tell some stories and 3 anecdotes about your life. Something that goes to create a speech.
So effectively, on your using the locations as like a structure, a pillar to the overall speech.
That's right, exactly.
Do you change the number of locations based on how long your speech is?
Now, that's a very good point. Because what I'll do is just before you start, I'll go back to blank memory map. On. Another fantastic aspect of memory mapping, I can't cover every aspect of it, is actually time control. If you look at this, it's got 6 locations. So if you had standard Toastmaster speech of 6 or 7 minutes, think of it as 6 minutes to make it simple. Each one of these locations is 1 minute. All you've got to remember to speak for 1 minute is what's at location 1. Then you move to location 2 and speak for 1 minute. And if you think of it like this, at any particular location, location 1, there are 4 parts to it. There's the location 1, A, B, and C. So that is just 15 seconds. Can you talk for 15 seconds? Just have an image or a word and just speak for 15 seconds. So this whole thing there, the 24 of them, builds up to a 6-minute speech. And if you had an hour-long presentation, you could get up and speak in front of people for a whole hour with a memory map. And all you'd have to do is speak for approximately 2.5 minutes for every single point on the map. Could you do that? If you had an image or a word that reminded you of something that you wanted to say for 2.5 minutes. So location 1 would add up to 10 minutes. 4 places, working your way around, 24, that is 60 minutes. So each location, just 10 minutes. 6 main locations, 60 minutes. That's an hour-long presentation. So you can adjust, to take the point that or the question you asked, you can adjust your speech length and use the memory map to help you form that time structure to what it is you want to say. So since we're going to be talking, we're going to try and get as many of you up in the limited time we have, perhaps if you just complete the first 3 locations and think of it as being a minute per location. So 15 seconds on 4 aspects of your life at each, or to do with 1 aspect of life, but 4 elements to it, possibly.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, please note my right thumb's on top. This building, the Haven, has a particular significance for me because it's like a walk down a memory lane for me. Back in the 60s, this building was part of a much bigger building. It's part of a garage and a workshop, part of which is still at the back of this building. And as a 15-year-old, I used to work in this building. As a 15-year-old, I was a trainee panel beater, and part of my job was the duty gopher for the panel beater. I fetch his tools, and wash up and everything else. And also being the youngest member of the team with about 15, 20 workmen, my other role was to be the duty gopher, which meant going for the newspapers, going buying sandwiches, and the cakes for the rest of the workmen. Okay? And what's even more significance is that this room that we're sitting in was the canteen, where we all used to gather at our breaks to have our sandwiches and so on. Okay? If you just look at the back there, that corner, okay, you'll see it is where all the chairs and the tables were where we used to sit around. Okay? This area at the front, okay, was the storeroom, okay, and the area on the side, okay, was, you know, more sort of rubbish, okay, and that door leading to the washroom and the gents, okay, was the staircase that led to the workshop at the back of the building, and the stairs that we came up, okay, led to the forecourt, okay, where the old pumps used to be. Okay, and also as a trainee 15-year-old, my other job, okay, was to fill in whenever I was needed, okay, and when the old geezer who used to fill the pumps, in those days there was no self-service, okay, and part of my job was to actually fill the tanks. Yeah, okay. And the final memory I have of this room, okay, is that one morning I was trying to clean a window because it was raining. Okay. I was being too clever and I was cleaning the window with my bare hand, not realising that the window was actually broken. So I sliced my finger. Okay. The scar, which is still here on my finger, so 45 years later, I'm standing where I was as a 15-year-old, and it's bringing back memories like you wouldn't believe. Thank you for that.